This episode, we're going to be continuing work on the yurt, getting stuff done there. And unfortunately, we're getting closer to winter, so I got to get some stuff done. Winter prep, stacking wood, cleaning up stuff so it doesn't get lost underneath the snow. So let's get into it. So this is going to be my workshop for the next however long it takes. I'm going to just kind of organize this area out, like I said, to get it ready for my winter wood chopping area. So that went fairly smooth. I'm going to finish cleaning up the other stuff later. This will give me a nice little place to split and chop. I've got to go get the splitter I got, run my four-wheeler up to the old property, bring that down, and I'll have a nice little setup. I'm gonna see what a month or two of the natural gas runs us for heating the place, but definitely having this for a backup because we are gonna be having the wood burning stove. So good to stock up on this, but I'm gonna see what it costs for the gas. So all right, so got that all stacked up. I'm gonna start moving that extra bundle of fence posts, probably just bring it in and shore up the sides with some pallets. That way I block as much wind, rain, snow, whatever comes in, keeps these dry. While I was stacking, I did have the internet company come out, so they are going to be coming in off, I guess this one's wired off of telephone poles. I don't have access to any of the towers over here, so we're gonna go with the wired option. It's a faster pace. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna dig another trench on the outside of the fence over to here, and then come straight in along here, dig up a little portion of my driveway, and then go straight over to the house there and get the internet there. So another task of my pre-winter chore list. All right, so that'll give me a nice little area to work here. I can kind of have it blocked from weather, not 100%, but some. And then I'll be able to bring in the log splitter, back it in there, cut my rounds, split it, and set it up here to dry. So I'm happy with this. Really thankful for this tractor today. Glad that I don't have to do this winter cleanup by hand, lifting all these pallets and T-posts, tables, all the stuff that I'm doing. The tarp you saw used to cover the entire shipping container and the boxes that the yurt came in. So it's pretty large, pretty heavy. So that would not have been fun if I had to carry that by hand. They are starting to get all the posts ready here. There is going to be a roof here that kind of goes from just past that door to over here. So I'm pretty sure it's just this area, the curved part up to here is going to get a roof out. So they're starting to get things ready for that. Starting to plan out the pump house over there in that area somewhere. The top of these rooms had sheeting on it, but we had to pull it off due to running electric. So I got the go ahead and put the sheeting back on. So I'm gonna do that so I can start storing stuff up here that we've got in here, because I want to kind of keep inside the barn clear of clutter, maybe, in the storage room or on top of here. I don't think it was the most organized when they put it down, but it's definitely not organized now. So I'm gonna have to try to find how everything fits like a jigsaw. All right, so I got all the plywood back in. It was a little bit more tricky than I thought because it was grooved on one side, so it's like tongue and groove. So I had to fit all that in. Not everything's perfect, a little bit cattywampus and hit a couple spots in it, but hey, there's a floor and I can start storing stuff up here. The guys spent the morning cleaning up the yurt, so I'm gonna kind of just do a quick run through of what everything looks like and what we're gonna be doing this coming week. So we've got this area cleaned up. This trim is, I believe, what's gonna be the verticals, because like I said, that stuff up there is the paneling that's gonna go on the ceiling, and then this is gonna be the verticals vertical trim basically is what it is. So that's all right there, pre-stained, ready to go. And then yeah, just everything is cleaned up, looking good. I know they're doing the stairwell. I think we should be having it in the next week or two. Go check out the master area. They're going to be working on pump house. So that's gonna be out there. And then also the roof back there for the patio. They're gonna be working on that stuff. And then once they're done with that, then they're all gonna come inside, start trimming, start putting the roofs on, or ceilings on, both the yurts. So things are going smoothly. They didn't quite give another time frame yet, but I mean, they're doing the best they can. We'll get in here as soon as we're able to. So with getting the pump house in this week, then we should be able to cover up the cistern. So I'm really looking forward to having a flat backyard again, not having all that mountain of dirt, just being able to see how we, kind of put the whole yard together and where things are gonna go. Now we did have a little issue with ordering the doors and some of the windows. Those are coming in the next couple weeks, so that they're still waiting to finish up the trim once they get all the doors and windows in. So that'll be finished here shortly, hopefully as soon as the doors and windows get here. So my boy Jace did help me fill up the dump trailer with things, patio furniture and stuff that was in the garage up at the old house. I'll be offloading that soon. I need to make this back area a little bit cleaner, tidy this up. I'm gonna get that shelving unit in here so that way I can start filling that with stuff and then start piling stuff in here and organizing where I'm gonna be doing hay and all that storage. I did also get the sign off the last property down, brought it down to the new property. The guy's got a couple coats of ceiling stuff on it, so that's gonna be going up at the front of the barn here soon. And yeah, that'll be our new sign for the barn. So I was able to get Jace to come help me. Say hi.
Hi.
We are just cleaning up the storage area in the barn. Getting that area kind of cleaned up so we can put more stuff over there. I was able to get him to get this done. Focus, there we go. He cleared that off. I brought in the shelving. He stored stuff back on it. So now we are going to get the stuff out of the dump trailer, stack it up here for storage until we can figure out what we're gonna do with it. So earlier we were here doing some stuff around the property, getting some winter cleanup done, and Bonnie decided to get her head stuck in the feeder. They got extra wide horns, so I was kind of expecting it to happen. They were doing okay with it. I saw the feeder get moved a couple of times, so I figured they were getting stuck, but they were always able to get out of it. This time she got really stuck. She was thrashing around. I don't want that to happen again, so I'm taking a couple of these vertical bars off so that way they have more room to get in and out. I still think there'll be little enough space that they won't jump in. I think that's why they're there, so they don't like jump in and stuff. So I'm gonna get those taken off and hopefully not have this be a complete waste. I've got another load of stuff to offload. I've got to go get hay and the goats are out. So, one of those days. So yesterday before I left, the neighbors were like, hey, we bought a new trampoline. Do you want our old one? It's in perfect condition. And I was like, yes, that would be awesome. So that's there. We'll store it for the winter, get it out in the spring, and the boys will have a trampoline. But I'll put that away, and I've got this load in the dump trailer. I'll get offloaded, and then I gotta go get hay for the cows because they are eating a lot faster than what I thought. So got that offloaded, didn't film it. While I was in here, the goats decided to check out the barn, which is cool. I'd prefer them to be in the barn instead of out. So you can see there where I took out the vertical right here, there's plenty of space for them to fit their heads with those big horns and not get caught in there like Bonnie did yesterday. So I feel good about this. So they are arriving here today. They finished the spiral metal staircase. We're gonna get this off the truck and get it inside. So we were gonna do this by hand. They were gonna do it by hand, but with the trailer being pretty icy, they're gonna use the Great Awl to kind of get that in here. So let's see how they do. All right, so we got that in for today. They've got bolts down on the bottom and they've got it bolted up to the top. So for right now, it's gonna sit there, and then they're gonna, once we get flooring in, they're gonna put the guardrails up, so they'll be back. I don't know when that'll be, but that'll be shortly. Monarch Industries, if anybody in the North Idaho area is looking for metal work, they're out of Sagal. They go all over. I mean, they've gone down to Lewiston and stuff, but yeah, the Monarch Industries, give them a shout if you're looking for any custom work or metal work, stuff like that. The goats will not stay in the electric netting or electric fencing I put up, so I'm gonna take that down because it's just sectioning off a lot of my property. So I'm gonna go get some stuff and get that down. Morning, ladies. You look very much in your element, doing well, I see. May's over there eating. We got all of the wire off of the white posts. Got all the posts picked up and put them over there that I can grab them later. Now I'm going to attach the string to my little wind up thing and wind it up. All right, so I got that all wound up. I still have another one to do, but that's boring, so why don't you guys go watch the cows? All right, so I got that run done. Hopefully you enjoyed watching the cows. I don't think they did really anything, but yeah, you didn't have to watch me do this, so time well spent. All right, back today. Excuse me if I sound a little bit weird. I had some dental work done this morning. My goal today is to get the trench dug for the internet coming in. I popped in the Yurt already to see what was going on. They've got some progress, so I'll go show you that before we jump into the excavator. So they have the two French doors in. That's for the back here, and then the back of the French of the breezeway. They got brackets set up for the back porch roof to go onto, and then I'll show you inside. It's a bit noisy, so I'm just gonna do some video in there. They're wrapping the beam in front of the staircase to make it look a lot better. So I've got this trench done. It comes out here and goes along the fence line out to where that pole is gonna be. So while I was out digging that, I saw them. They were getting doors in, so let's go check that out. So here is that back door for the dining living room, the big Yurt. We just got that in a little bit ago. Looking good. And then here's the one in the breezeway. So looking good. Now we're just gonna decide if we want to keep them white, if we want to change the color. I have a feeling we're just gonna keep them white. So the internet guy just left. I didn't record any of it. I was helping him pull this conduit, but this is all ran now. Goes there out to the road, and then from that corner, I think they're gonna put some kind of junction in there. It goes then over to the telephone pole over there. So they'll hook it in over there. So we've got that run. Now we're just waiting for them to come back and run wire, put in whatever junctions they need, and then we'll be able to access internet. Now I've got that backfilled and driveway cleaned up as good as it is with all the snow on the ground. It might be a next spring kind of thing, but I'll clean this up a little bit later too. Just left the ends where he's gonna connect stuff up, but they were doing some more stuff inside, so let's go check that out. So the first thing is we have a door on the front. So no longer using a piece of plywood, we actually have a door. They've got that one done, and then I know they were working on the one back in the pantry. Yeah, we got that one set in there too. So almost all the doors are on. Bad news though, the windows in the master that we added are backlogged. So those won't be getting in for a while. Possibly the beginning of next year, which right now is about a month out. So the one up there and then right there. But worst case scenario, we can live with some sealed off windows. Also finished this faux beam right here. I think it makes this opening look a lot bigger having that beam go across. Well, it's wrapped, but I think it looks really nice. Opens things up, throws everything together. So just got back from a trip to the local farm store and found out they put the last panel in for the stalls. So now we've got our 4th stall here. We got that extra space back there, so things are looking good. I bought some stuff, some brushes and some things I've already put one. Let me just show you. All right, a little bit difficult to see with all the snow and in the dark area, but I just bought a broom, took off the brush part, and then screwed it to there, figuring they'll figure it out. I mean, they're cows, they're gonna scratch on things, and that'll give them a good spot to scratch on. Also got another little one here I'm gonna put out there, and then some brushes for them. Miss May has found the small scratching post, and she seems to really enjoy it. It's not spring, I promise. It just rained for the past like 3 days and melted all the snow away. So we've got no snow, but a lot of water. So right now I am draining out where I trenched for the cistern. Unfortunately, we haven't got that backfilled yet because we're waiting for the pump house to go in. So you can hear that in the background. I got a pump getting all that water out of there. So I got this load of stuff down, which clears out my garage up at the rental. I don't think I'm gonna get to offloading this today. I just got some other stuff I need to do. I did build a stanchion. That's the wood frame thing you see in there. I don't think it's gonna work because helping another friend do his milk cows, there's just a lot of waste, and I don't want them coming in here into the barn and going on the floor, so I've got to figure something else out to keep it a little bit cleaner. Progress on the back porch. They're getting all the posts up for the roof. They spent the last week sanding and staining all of this. And then some of the most progress was done in the master bed and bath area. They're getting all of that ceiling up. It's kind of dark, hard to tell, but there is one layer there, and then the second layer is there. And then over there, that's how it's gonna look. It's got the trim on each vertical, and then each bottom, just the way it plotted out, is gonna be one flat and then one kind of angle, because each one of these kind of hits one of the corners of the yurt. But it's looking great. And then outside the front, they did get this post put in. This was just temporarily held up, but now they've got the official post in there to hold up that beam for the front porch. And then, so this one's the big yurt. These are actually gonna have 4 different sections. You can see them there. But it's gonna be 1, 2, 3, 4. So again, they're just gonna do all the vertical trim and not horizontal. I think it would just look a lot like a spider web if they did that. So it looks okay in the other yurt where it's just the verticals. So I think it'll look better over here. One thing I noticed, and it's not gonna stay this way because we're gonna put treads on the stairs, but it kind of sounds like church bells going down and up. I don't know, maybe it's just me, but I like the sound of it. We are getting a bull in the next week or so. He's a silver Highlands. So good chance that we'll get a white Highland calf out of one of the two Highlands, and then hopefully he can breed May. We'll see if that works out. But yeah, just wanting to get the Highland breeding program started. So unfortunately we are going to be getting rid of the goats. They're over there underneath that trailer. But I told the wife either Highlands or goats, and we went with Highlands. So I did find somebody to pick them up. They're going to be gone in about a week. Just make things a little bit less stressful around here. The original plan with the goats was to milk them, which was for Lindsay to milk them. But then things just happened. Life got ahead of us. Health was concerned. So we just wanted to, you know, do what we could. They became pets, and now we're down here. I want all this grass for the animals that are going to be providing me things, milk and offspring and stuff. So it is going to be a cow farm around here. It's a cow farm, going to be cows outside. If you know that reference, put it down in the comments. Probably very few do, but. So I think they're just missing one panel, and that's why that one spot is missing. But everything else is done in the master, besides trim, of course. But as soon as they get that one squared away, then they can get the trim going, and then this will be done. And while I was out, I guess they started on the pump house, which this is one thing I really enjoy having the equipment available to me, is they can just get going and start working on stuff. I've got the equipment here. They don't have to go rent it and worry about if it's available or not. So yeah, they're getting started on the pump house, which is great, because then once we get that all hooked up, we can get water to the property. And then they are just finishing up over here. They've cut those to where we can still see out, like if we're standing in the yurt, we can still see out underneath of the roof line and to be able to see out the back. Join me next time. We'll be doing more, finishing up a lot of these projects, getting the back roof done, getting the pump house done, and then probably starting on the roof, the ceiling of the big yurt. Catch you later, guys.